Good evening, friends. Hello from Ukraine. Welcome to the update about Russian-Ukrainian war, where Russia is aggressor and Ukraine and Ukrainians, we are fighting for our land, on our land, against of aggressor, the Russian army and the Russian terrorists. And we will start from the thanks. Thank you very much to all the partners, all the friends of Ukraine and Ukraine, all who support us, all who stands with us, all who pray for Ukrainians. Thank you very much. And we'll start from the situation on the front line. July 4th, Russia attacked Kherson. 2 civilians were killed. July 5th, Russia attacked and by shelling killed 2 more civilians. Today, as a result of the shellings in the Kherson region, Darivska Gramada, this is the place we've been with Pastor Greg and our team many times. As a result of it, 3 civilians were wounded. Damaged houses, farm buildings, power lines, gas pipelines and vehicles. This is a result of the Russian aggression. They are terrorists and they are attacking and killing civilians. As one more crime of Russian army and the Russian nation. It's a shelling to Pervomaisk, it's Kharkiv region. After the Russian shelling, 16 wounded, as already known this moment, including 7 children in Pervomaisk district of Kharkiv region. The youngest child is 1 year old. Coming to Bakhmut and the situation on the front line, let's start from Bakhmut. Russians retreated from Klishchiivka, Bakhmut under the threat of an assault. Russian military correspondents. This is what their correspondents are talking about. We know that we have some success. We confirm it and we may check it as probably you can. You probably know about Deep State Map, the project which helps to see what's going on the front line. You may use it. So as a result, our guys are pushing Russians out of Ukrainian land and we have some success there. Ukrainian channels informing and publishing a video of yesterday's explosion of an ammunition depot in Makiivka, filmed from a drone. The warehouse was located in the courtyard of an unfinished residential complex, and as a fact, they located the ammunition depot in the distance of 300 meters from a hospital, which is the military crime. Ukrainian forces pushing back when coming to the south. And there is a success of Ukrainian army there, and we got in some of the places to the depth in that temporarily occupied territory to the in the distance of 5 miles, and you can see the direction of it. That's it. It's a good news when we're coming to the Zaporizhia area. This is what we have. Kherson area, the fights are going on non-stop there, and I believe there is a serious plan our guys are preparing, but we will see. We will see. Then Russia actively uses chemical weapons against the defense forces on Bakhmut direction. Spokesman of the defense forces Taurian direction says, during artillery shelling uses on an element that previously called Louisip, there are already victims of the chemical element. Its symptoms are noticed. This is the one more crime which Russian military are doing non-stop all of that time, and the world cannot be silent to that. Next one, and I want to think about that and stop for a minute. This is what you see, amount of missiles and drones fired at Ukraine in June. Think about that, think about that numbers, and think about your place. maybe you have some relatives, and if they would live there, and what is Ukrainian reality? We're living with the maps, we're living with the updates, we're checking the direction. And I mean, we checking, it's not the people just who like in getting in like having special interest in military situation. No, this moment kids are checking situation and the channels, what direction are Russian drones are going to, and which kind of missiles were used, what to expect and how fast. And it's just non-stop. It's touching every family in Ukraine. And this is everyday life. Work days, holidays, school time, night time. It's about hospitals, it's about kids, all the ages. This is the terrorism. And think what was the latest maybe news you were checking and worrying about at your place. One more area, and this is the good example during the last days, it's a nuclear terrorism. You heard about Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, and all of these days we read it, and the media, you can see it. We have a special warnings, special video instructions, explanations how to act in the case of explosion, let's say, or attack or on Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, or just in the case when you have the situation with radiation on the streets, something like that, how to act, what to do if you're in the car, if you're at home, on which distance you're living at, what to do to different groups of people. And this is non-stop. People are getting tired with this, regularly we see, especially like from Russia, they're trying to throw it in Ukrainian media, different dates. This night it will happen, Ukraine will be covered with a radioactive dust or something like that, and parents cannot sleep. Kids who realizing what's going on as well, they think about it, read about it. People think looking for the other jobs because they're ready to move. Some of them leaving their places, their homes, and moving to the west, and in the hope to find the other job, maybe with less money, but with a more safe situation to locate family there. Some people are thinking about moving to the other country. Men cannot leave their places, Ukraine. This is why they think, and with tears and big pain, sending their wives and kids outside of Ukraine, just trying to save the life. This is about that. And this is last days, it's like non-stop, like 24/7. It touching me as well. This is why it makes sometimes the sleep much shorter. And this is the nuclear terrorism, the other one, which Russia does to Ukrainians. If the USA and its vassals stop supplying weapons to Kiev, the special military operation of Russia would end in a few months. If they stop now, in a few days. This is what ex-president of Russia Medvedev said. The question now, this is what we can hear non-stop from different countries, who are interested to support Russian idea to stop the war on that moment, and to get more and more territory of Ukraine, and Ukraine will not go for that. We will fight for our land. The world, we hope the world will stand with us and will stop with us the terroristic country Russia. As a fact, our military guys have checked the missiles and the drones which Russia were launching and using for attacking Ukraine now. And there is hundreds of parts in that weapons. The drones and the missiles are produced in Western countries. And at the same time, so the Western countries are supplying by some reasons, some ways, with that parts for Russia, and Iran could make the missiles to destroy, to kill Ukrainians, and at the same time Medvedev requesting or saying that the world needs to stop supplying Ukraine to stop the war. Maybe to find a way to stop supplying Russia with all of these parts for producing weapons which is killing Ukrainians. It's a good question, I think. In recent weeks, Russia has prioritized and refined tactics aimed at slowing Ukrainian armored counter-offensive operation in southern Ukraine. This is what we have by defense intelligence. The core of this approach has been Russia's very heavy use of anti-tank mines. In some areas, the density of its minefields indicate that it has likely used many more mines than laid down in its military doctrine. Having slowed the Ukrainian advance, Russia has then attempted to strike Ukrainian armored vehicles with one-way attack, uncrewed aerial vehicles, attacked helicopters and artillery. The next news: Russian Federation find out how to jam our signals, and this affects the work of HIMARS and the other NATO standards and NATO weapon which Ukraine has. This is one of the reasons why our guys, the commanders and government, were asking to help just in time, as soon as possible, with no delay for 1 year, for Russia would produce and for Russia would find out the ways like how to stand and find out the weapon to use against of this like HIMARS or other like high technology weapon and shells. One more point I want to touch, and this point is corruption. You heard probably about that there is a corruption in Ukraine, and should West to continue to help Ukraine to stand against of Russianism and the Russian aggression because of corruption in Ukraine. Corruption is everywhere, but almost every day and surely every week we have information about who was arrested, and this is the example. The chief military commissar in Odessa was moved out of his position, and at this moment the case is open and the process is going on. As well, the military commissar of Kramatorsk district and 2 of his assistants will be tried for forging documents for traveling abroad, and our guys and the police working non-stop. The next one, one of the people's deputy and from the servant of the people party, they catched her, and this situation was as well bind or connected with the corruption, and we're moving out non-stop. Our media is posting how many people were catched, and this is non-stop. We didn't have it like that. Now it's non-stop. The war is not just with the Russians, the Russian aggressions, but as well with all the corruption. It's going non-stop, inside and out. The country is fighting a lot of direction at once, at one time. And I believe this is important to hear. It doesn't matter what level these people are on. It's moving, it's open, and we fight with it. Coming to the Zelensky speech, and he informed the country, shared it, that today's agenda is extended, and it was 2 hours for discussion of main challenges. The first one is the protection of nuclear power plants, all the power plants, how to protect it and what to do, what to be prepared to, having this kind of terrorist as a neighbor. The second is the situation on at the front. It's every day, let's say, on the top to strengthen the north of Ukraine, to be prepared for attack from the north. The third is the further expansion of own production of equipment and ammunition. By the way, we have quite good success, and it's already confirmed from different sources, the Ukraine getting more and more, better and better, faster and faster in producing own ammunition. And in the end, I want to thank you, all of you who supporting us, who helping Ukrainians different ways, who sharing the truth. Thank you very much. And I wish you the peace and the blessings in your families. And I wish for your country would never experience what do we experiencing now. I wish you for your kids would never discuss the things about the war which Ukrainian and our kids are discussing between them. I wish for your kids would never in between or during, like, interrupting the lessons as usual, looking for the bomb shelter. And I wish for your kids would never used to hear air threat alarms. And yeah, thank you that on a distance you helping us. And let's, I don't know, if you have family, your close people, kiss them, hug them, and let's be thankful for every minute of our life. Bye.